The college football experience, Virginia Cavaliers 2022 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the college football experience. Get ready for the college football season by checking out all 131 college football team preview and podcasts. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB.
This is Brock Purdy from Iowa State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Virginia Cavaliers 2022 season preview episode. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, yes! Love talking Brennan Armstrong, and even though last year,
sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Last year I was off. I thought they would 6.5. I said they're going to hit it. Now I didn't count on Brennan Armstrong breaking his ribs, but I am joined by my co-host. This is his favorite team in the land since the days of Herman Moore, Sean Moore, Terry Kirby. I can go on and on. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy.
First down. All right. Let's talk a little. Man, this is a rich program. Well,
I don't get the brain man.
Let's
I
have some fun.
I guess you can say that.
No,
I guess you could call
this.
them a rich program.
I remember the days when I first got into college football. The Wahoos were gamers. Back to the days of Don Magic Mikowski, to Sean Moore, to Mike Rowe, to Aaron Brooks.
There you go.
Simeon Willis.
Little Tiki Barber, little Thomas Jones, a little Anthony Poindexter.
Kevin Brooks was on that team. Charles Way.
Give me some Jamie Sharper. Give me some James Perry.
Brickshaw Ferguson.
There were Wally Lundy.
So I'm saying you can go Jermaine Crowell.
Matt Schaub.
I mean, you can go on and on and on about the Wahoos.
We've had some players. We've had some guys, but the glory days have kind of slipped away from us.
The glory days went downhill, in my opinion, with Al Groh and then Mike London. But guess you called on a Bronco to bring him back, and he brought him back to a certain extent.
He did. He reestablished winning culture in Charlottesville.
And now comes brand new head coach Tony Elliott. All right, look, I know Tony. All right.
That's right. Tony always goes high.
Hit the pace car. All right. Quoting them great movie Days of Thunder. Tony Elliott definitely has won 35 Winston Cups and a few Daytonas. I don't fucking know. Subscribe to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast though, and the Formula One Gambling Podcast. Great racing intel there. Patty C, let's talk a little bit about Tony Elliott. He comes in from the Clemson Tigers. So he's got national championship pedigree. He got to watch Dabo Swinney build up Clemson, because before that, Clemson went through some tough years, man. They weren't setting the world on fire.
Yeah, they were mediocre. Yeah, what was it? After Rich Rod was there in the late 80s or late 90s.
Well, with Tommy Bowden.
With Tommy Bowden.
Yeah.
And then after he left in the early 2000s, they kind of took a hit, right? The Charlie Whitehurst days were not spectacular for Clemson, but
no, I think they went right from there to
Dabo.
To Dabo. I think you go back to the late 90s, they really had some tough years.
Let me see. I'm gonna
pull
dive
up those, and I'll rattle off this. How about this, Patty C? What I talked about, Algro, Mike London. How about this? UVA only had 4 winning seasons in the past 20 years before Bronco Mendenhall. So I should say from 2015 to 5 in 15 and 16 seasons there. Then Bronco Mendenhall comes in 2 and 10 year one, but then 6 and 7, 8 and 5, 9 and 5, 5 and 5, 6 and 6. So at least you haven't had a losing season in 4 football seasons, and even with that, you were still in the bowl. You haven't had a terrible season since 2016. Mendenhall's brought stability to the program.
He's brought them up to at least a mediocre or slightly above mediocre level. Look, I'm looking at this right now. Clemson had one tough year in the late 90s or 1998, 3-8. But other than that, they had a 5-6 in 94, pretty much bowling every other year. Most of the time getting to like 8 or 9 wins.
Yeah, they were always solid. They were like Arizona State.
Yeah.
And then they turned it on recently.
Then, when Dabo came in, he
maybe look at what I just said. Virginia's had 5 straight bowl seasons, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
it's very similar in a way.
Yeah, I mean they probably weren't at the level that Clemson was when Dabo took over, but it's a slight step down. But they don't need to get to Clemson's ceiling to be proud of where the program is going and to be happy with it. I don't know. Do you think Tony Elliott can be the guy to elevate them beyond the 6 or 7 win mark?
Well, look, I was skeptic because Clemson's offense was not good last year. And like, to me, I do think there is something to be said. Like, I get it. You had a playoff caliber team, right? But there's also something to be said that you had Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence in a 9-year window.
Oh, sure. It helps to have great players, obviously.
I don't know that even Bama doesn't get that lucky.
That's true. The quarterback situation worked out pretty well for them.
Now that could be Elliott's doing. You could say, hey, I helped develop them, but I also think they probably would have been good anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, Trevor Lawrence was the #1 player in the country coming out of high school. That is a nice tool to work with. So it does
sip the wrong side of my coffee.
Pour it all over your face. There you go, buddy. Yeah, I think it remains to be seen. I do think that maybe you have the tendency to say to chalk it up to the talent, and maybe I have a tendency as a UVA fan to be hopeful that it was his doing.
You're still in the ACC. Look, Clemson, in my opinion, benefited. I've said this statement. I know NC Nick disagrees with me strongly. I don't think they would have won any national championships had they played in the SEC.
You might be right. I mean, they're basically they were on Auburn's level, most of those years.
Florida State was so down; they weren't getting much competition. But hey, I'm not more power to them. They got through the ACC.
Yeah,
the new Pac-12.
They took full advantage of a terrible ACC the entire time that they had been on that run. And Tony Elliott's star rose during that time frame. That is convenient.
Yeah, I mean, now we're gonna find out if the guy can get it done but he walks into a great situation because Patty C, the most underrated quarterback in America by far. I get really ticked off when I listen to all these other publications or if I watch an ACC network and they mention Brennan Armstrong as like the 5th best quarterback in the ACC. They have Devin Leary. No disrespect to Devin Leary, but do they fucking watch these games? Brennan Armstrong has been a machine.
Brennan Armstrong was 3rd in the country last year in total yards, and he's 3rd team preseason ACC all conference.
It's such a joke. It's such a joke. What is it? This is my point on the pyramid scheme that is college football, Patty C. Him and Sam Hartman, it's as if they didn't exist.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman threw 50. He was responsible for like 54 touchdowns last season. No, nothing.
Devin Leary is apparently who's above them on the
Van Dyke, Tyler Van Dyke from Miami.
is
he looked great as a freshman, but are you fucking kidding me? Brennan Armstrong looked like Steve Young.
At times, Brennan Armstrong, like I forget which game it was. I don't know if it was the BYU or the.
Well, that's when he hurt his
UNC
ribs. The
game.
BYU game.
One of those games was just like, we are watching something special here. Why is this guy not getting? It trended on Twitter. You know, people finally gave him some love, but then they immediately forgot about it.
I still don't understand it. I don't understand it, and I don't get it. And like, I can't wait to see if how he'll use him. I'm surprised he didn't follow an eye to Syracuse or something. But what a gift to come in and you have I think a top 5 quarterback in college football, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
And then you have 1, 2, 3 stud wideouts all back. Billy Kemp, Keytaon Thompson from Mississippi State. That guy's been exciting. That was a great job by Bronco Mendenhall of changing his position. And then Dontayvion Wicks, Patty C. I know they lose Jelani Woods. My boy is on the Indianapolis Colts, but this offense, yes, breaking in a new tight end and Grant Michelin tires.
There you go. Don't forget Lavel Davis, the backup wide receiver, was second in the nation 2 years ago in yards per catch at over 25 yards per catch. And now he's back.
Dude, if they can block, because I know, look, we've covered almost 131 teams.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever covered a team that 0 offensive linemen were coming back.
Not only 0 offensive linemen coming back, all 5 transferred out. You were starting.
And they're all starting one is starting at USC. One is starting at UCF. One is starting at Michigan. I think another one went to like the Pac-12 North, Wazoo maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, just so clearly they were decent. If they're starting at Michigan and USC,
well, maybe ring chasing. Because at Michigan you probably have a better chance. Definitely have a better chance than UVA for.
Well, at UCF you have a better chance than UVA. If Brennan Armstrong's at UCF, actually they still probably wouldn't give him the respect.
Yeah.
Brennan Armstrong should have won the Heisman Trophy last year. Fight me. Fight me.
I will fight you because
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young was better than him.
No.
Yes.
No. Now he's going to be better long term, but I'm saying last year Bryce Young
was amazing.
He was, but he had some games where he struggled. Brennan Armstrong was a better quarterback last year than Bryce Young.
I think the argument can be made. So I won't shut you down there.
Dude, if you put Brennan Armstrong with Bama last year, they win the national championship.
Maybe.
Fight me. Fight me right now.
I don't know. I was pretty impressed with
I was too.
Bryce Young.
I was too. If anything, Real Money Kramer's the one that's like, Bryce Young's not that good. I'm like, what? Huh? What?
What?
Patty C, the new offensive coordinator is Des Kitchings.
Kitchings.
Yeah. Hey, I like
Kitching.
that. Yeah. He comes over from the Atlanta Falcons.
Running back coach there. Not a whole lot of experience. I don't know what I mean, I think he may have had a relationship. Let me look at that. How they were familiar with each other. I think he's got a good reputation. I think he may have. He was NC State's co-offensive coordinator
A couple years ago.
Yeah,
under
back
Doran
in 2019. So that's a good experience.
Okay.
So, and he went co-offensive coordinator at Vanderbilt back in 2010.
That was Franklin, right?
So,
okay, I like
He's
it.
got a little more chops than we realize here.
They bring in Cody Brown, transfer at running back from the Miami Hurricanes. He was a 4-star down there in South Beach. Patty C.
It's a nice guy to add to this offense.
Breaking in the new tight end. So that they not only got hit on the 5 offensive linemen, they got hit at the tight end spot.
Like anyone in the backfield, amazing. Anyone on the front line, complete question mark here.
And I know that they were counting on a transfer, Mac Hollensteiner from Georgetown. Shout out to the Hoyas. Georgetown football, we're a fan. He transferred and then decided that he's going to stay at Georgetown for his 5th season. So it's tough when you lose a guy from Georgetown that would rather play for the Hoyas.
Oof, that was an offense or a defense?
Yeah, he's projected offensive lineman. You pull up like the magazines, he's a projected starter on the offensive line.
That's got to be a slap in UVA's face from an academic level too. But I mean, I feel like they acknowledge Georgetown's pretty elite academically.
They brought in another transfer in John Paul Flores from Dartmouth. Maybe some Ivy League O lineman gonna save the day.
Well, Tony Elliott definitely is preaching the the UVA way. You know, he has an engineering degree himself, so Smart guy football is kind of what he is.
It's back, baby.
That's what he's doing there.
Well, I can tell you this: while the offensive line is a gigantic question mark, the defense. Tony Elliott started to win me over on this. He goes out and hires John Radzinski.
Yeah.
All right. I know that sounds like a serial killer, but trust me, he's not. But he is killing it defensively. Yeah. Right. He came over from Air Force. 2 starters back. I mean, people at Air Force, if you haven't watched Air Force football, first off, get your shit together in life. All right. Air Force football is fantastic to watch. But John Radzinski's defense was nasty. Patty C hit me with those nuggets.
Last 4 years, the 4 years that he was their defensive coordinator, they improved each year in total defense, 43rd, 26th, and then 4th last year in total defense in the country. It does help to have the number 1 rushing offense in the country and be running the ball constantly. That slows the pace of the game. Probably less snaps for the other team.
But their defense was good.
Yeah, I mean, number 4 defense in the country. You can't fake that. So
I'm saying John Radzinski. All right, he had to stay moving. All serial killers got to stay moving, or they're going to get caught.
That's right.
All right.
And UVA was 121 nationally last year. If John Radzinski can get anywhere near the top 50, and this offense can, the offense overall was what, number 3 in the country last year for UVA?
Yeah. Fire. Yeah, absolute fire.
If you can get a great improvement out of your defense, and that offense resembles.
Think about what Brad Lambert did at Purdue. You look at back 2 years ago. Brad Lambert was the defensive coordinator at Marshall, number 1 defense in the nation. Purdue was firing the ball over the field, but they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Right? They get Lambert in there, even though now Lambert's since gone on to Wake Forest. But last year they win 8 or 9 games because Lambert was able to turn that into a top 40 defense before they were
1 year.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, could a serial killer here, John Radzinski, do it? Well,
he would have to do a miracle work because they were really, really pathetic. 121.
I remember watching the games with you, and I was like, they're so bad at tackling.
Yeah, they don't even try. They feel like the players would just overrun the play and just give up, and they wouldn't they wouldn't initiate It was one of the most pathetic and frustrating things that I've ever seen as a fan.
Yeah,
terrible defense, and guess what? 3 of those defensive backs are returning, so. That's a big problem. Now, Nick Jackson, though, like you said.
Well, no, the linebacking core. Oh, first off, they get 2 guys on the defensive line back. Aaron Fuamai. I don't know how to pronounce those names. Yeah. And Jameer Carter. And look, so you get only 2 guys on the line of scrimmage back for the whole team. Yeah, that's not good.
Trenches are going to be an issue.
But 2 of 4 back in the linebacking core, led by Hunter Stewart and Nick Jackson. Both corners are back, and Anthony Johnson and Darius Bratton. I will say that it's good to have your corners back. Breaking in some brand new safeties, kickers back, brand new punter though. Patty C, talk to me about this roster. Is this a bowl caliber team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nick Jackson was 18th in the country, I think, in total tackles. That's a nice piece at linebacker to have back. You know, you basically, he completely obviously led the team in tackles. So an important middle linebacker piece to have running the show there and directing the defense. As far as the offense, what I really like about the receiving core is that they are all diverse. You have Wicks, who is your purebred medium at everything, kind of, but excels at everything. He's just an excellent wide receiver, right? Probably 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", and does everything really well. Then you have your tall guy in Lavel Davis, right? Big, goes up, tons of yards per catch. You have Keytaon Thompson, who's your Swiss Army knife.
Kind of tall too, right?
He is tall, but he's yards after catch.
I like the way that they used him. Hopefully, Elliott needs to use the offense like they did last year. Watch all that shit. Watch all that film.
Robert and I got really creative.
I loved watching that offense.
But when you have those pieces, and Lavel Davis coming back is essentially like Jelani Wood, so he kind of has the same exact offensive pieces back. And then you have Billy Kemp, the little short guy who's super quick and, your prototypical slot. So all the pieces are there. You should be able to create some stuff. And you have a quarterback like that. If the line can protect, the offense should be fire again.
Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk transfer portal. We're going to talk schedule, what Las Vegas expects, talk recruiting a little bit with the Wahoos. But first, I got to get this paid. I want to tell you folks out there that the college football experience, Virginia Wahoos 2022 season preview episodes brought to you by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WINNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the college football experience. Get ready. It's college football season, people. You can get ready by checking out all 131 college football team previews. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. We're also brought to you by Odds Trader. Yes, Odds Trader is a place to compare odds from all the major sports books. You can also compare the different sign-up codes and promo codes from sportsbook to sportsbook to ensure that you get yourself the best deal possible. The app provides player stats, key game stats, injury reports, game day weather. It also has a bet tracker, which organizes everything for you. That's so fantastic for me. Go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. That's Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. We're also brought to you by Run Your Pool. Run Your Pool is the home of competition, bringing sports fans and their social circles together to compete, connect, and make every game matter more. They have every game you can think of: Pick'em, Survivor, fantasy pools, and we've teamed up with them for our own SGPN NFL Survivor spot or Survivor contest, essentially. So right now, hop in and get your spot for free. And if you do that, you're going to get a chance to win $500 cash and a $250 gift card to the merch store. What are you folks doing? Get in there. Sign up today at play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. All right, we're back talking Wahoo football. The portal, Patty C. I got to grade this thing. They bring in Cody Brown, 4-star from Miami. Maybe he'll be a great get. Maybe it's a perfect fit there.
Well, they need running back help.
They need a lot of help from the O line. I touched on the Georgetown kid who bounced back to Georgetown to DC. Shout out to Hoyas football. John Paul Flores, the offensive tackle from Dartmouth. I think this guy's going to be a starter. Wide receiver. They got Devin Chandler from Wisconsin. He was like, "Hey, I've been playing wide receiver at Wisconsin, and Graham Mertz can't hit shit. So let me go to a quarterback that can actually throw the ball." Defensive end Paul Akir from Columbia, dude, hitting the Ivies. I like it. Defensive line Jack Camper from Michigan State, also linebacker / defensive end Cameron Butler from the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. Go in the mid-major route / FCS route. Now that's what they brought in. I got to touch base on what they lost. Patty C. Cornerback Joshua Hayes is a Kansas State Wildcat. Cornerback Tanya Dixon, portal. Linebacker Jerry Asatu, portal. Wide receiver Josiah Davis, portal. This is the other starter. Offensive tackle Joseph Bissinger, SMU Mustang.
That's right.
Quarterback Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech. Defensive lineman Jordan Redmond, portal. Safety Joseph White, portal. Bobby Haskins, offensive tackle, USC.
He's going to start there too.
Yes. Offensive lineman Victor Oluwatimi, Michigan.
The best center in the country last year. That's a tough one to lose.
Well, and your best linebacker Noah Taylor went to North Carolina. I need to throw my fucking hands up because I'm gonna vomit, dude. Yeah. The oldest rivalry in the South.
Yeah, disgusting.
That is absolutely
You're gonna
filthy.
go put on that fairy blue. Get out of here.
Ira Armstead, quarterback, transferred to Eastern Illinois. He's trying to be the next Tony Romo or Jimmy Garoppolo. They also lost offensive lineman Kareem Al Sofi. Offensive tackle Ryan Swoboda went to UCF Golden Knights. Offensive tackle Micah Murataragi hit the portal. Defensive lineman Nusi Malani went to Wazoo. Athlete Wes Weeks went to LSU. Running back Wayne Talapapa went to Washington. Went to Washington Huskies.
He was a player, man. I think
he's projected to be starting there, I believe.
That's a tough loss right there.
Safety Javin Burke, portal. They got fucking destroyed in the portal.
For some reason, I thought Talapapa had graduated, but man, he's been a player for them for several years now.
They got destroyed in the portal.
They did.
Look, I don't care. There's no way to cut it. That's the only way to cut it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about recruiting.
Oh, incoming transfer portal rank was 49, so decent incoming, but terrible outgoing. Recruiting has been subpar. I hate to say it. Virginia, as a state, the 7th or 11th most pro prospects. I think 10th, 11th, somewhere in there, coming out of the state of Virginia, and yet its state flagship program and nationally has ranked over the last 5 cycles 59, 43, 53, 36, and 65 this last cycle.
Coaching change.
Yeah, coaching change. Bronco got it up to 36. He built it up in 2021, the number 36 team in the country recruiting. That's where I want to see it. I want to see it. Al Groh couldn't coach a college team. He tried to run it like a pro team, but he had some like top 15 recruiting classes. Yeah. That's one thing he could do. He could keep the 5 stars in state somehow. Some crotchety old man could go up to Hilton High School and pull out Ahmad Brooks.
I coached with Bill Parcells.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hop into the schedule, buddy. Let's hop into the schedule. First, if you're watching on YouTube, first off, subscribe on YouTube, folks. You see that win total there, but also subscribe to the College Football Experience. And remember, the Virginia Wahoos basketball preview is just about to drop. Subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. It's out there. You can watch it on YouTube. We're together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Tony Bennett, Kie Clark, they're going to be loaded this year. Very excited for Wahoo basketball. Patty C. Let's well, actually, let me get us paid before we go to the schedule and go game by game. I want to tell you, we're also brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper's the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do. They just passed 4 million users. Yes. With the NFL season just right around the corner, Sleeper is the first sports contest game built into the fantasy experience. You got to check it out. They have this brand new over-under game. It's absolutely fantastic. Right now on your mobile phone, join our listener group on Sleeper at sleeper.com/SGP, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100 at sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by Trade Coffee. Look, if you're going to face UVA's offense, if it's anything like last year's, you're going to need a lot of coffee because that offense was fire, right? Trade Coffee connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee they've ever made at home by partnering with the country's best craft roasters. And get this, it's expert tasted. Trade's got a coffee team that actually taste tests thousands of coffees. They keep over 450 kinds live and ready to ship out to you every single day. There's no one perfect coffee, but there is a perfect coffee for you. Right now, Trade is offering new subscribers a total of $30 off your first order, plus free shipping when you go to drinktrade.com/SGP. That's more than 40 cups of coffee for free, people. Drinktrade.com/SGP. Get started today by taking their quiz because they got a human-powered algorithm. It's gonna find the right coffee for you. All right.
Boom.
We're also brought to you by Dave. Yes. No, not Dave, the old shoe salesman.
Thomas.
Not Dave Thomas. He's
best burgers in the business.
Yeah, he didn't cut corners. Well, either did Dave. All right. They had the square burger. Dave's got the square app. All right. And you're square if you don't get it. All right. Because let me tell you, Dave is the banking app that can help you get $500 instantly with extra cash. That's more money to fill your tank, buy a wedding gift, catch up on bills. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now. Because we've all been in a place where we needed some cash. You know what I mean? You somehow, maybe you bet on the Wahoos. Maybe you're down there, hanging out, while catching a game. Go to the bar afterwards. You blow a little bit more than you thought. Next thing you know, you're sitting there saying, shit, old Rolanda wants to hang out and I'd spent most of my money.
Yeah. Trust fund babies don't have to listen to this ad. Pretty much everyone else though.
Even they might if they run into a spot.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
They probably spend pretty heavy too.
So check out Dave. I mean, look, it's fantastic because they don't even there's no interest, there's no credit check needed. Download the Dave app right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account. Get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking by Evolve. Member of the FDIC. All right, we are back talking Wahoo football. Patty C. I see a lot of opportunity. Tony Elliott might win the ACC 500 if they can start out hot. All right, because
should we talk about what happened last year?
Yes, because they were just. But it's not Elliott. That was Bronco. Bronco's in Montana now fishing, fucking swimming. He's really like entering like triathlons and shit. I don't know.
It's almost not worth that. We could talk about.
They beat Miami on a crazy game. I thought they were going to beat North Carolina at one point in that game, even though they lost by 20. That's how bad the defense was. They gave up 66 to BYU. They didn't have Brennan Armstrong for the Notre Dame and the Pitt game, right? I think he was out both those games.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And see, that sucked. My over would have hit had Brennan Armstrong stayed healthy.
What'd they start out? 6-2, and then they lose the last 4 games to finish 6-6. Canceled the bowl game like true pansies, just being
light that tiki torch, buddy.
Highfalutin.
So then you have I don't know. Let's just hop into it though. 7 is the win total in Vegas, and Patty see the juice on this. The overs at +100, the unders at -120. Vegas basically saying they're going to go 7-5, but they lean. They say 6-6 is more likely than 8-4. Week 1.
I am going to disagree with that because this schedule
is one of the greatest.
Fucking soft here.
Well, week 1. Watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
What did Spidey do last year?
They went out in the portal and added some guys. The Reese Yadinsky coming in. He was a quarterback formerly at VMI, but was at Maryland last year. He's not bad. They also went and got one of the top wideouts from VMI to join them with the Spiders. Watch out.
6-5 last year. Did keep it within 11 against Virginia Tech. So as far as common opponents,
watch out.
Pretty similar outcome there. We'll say that Richmond lost to JMU. Just gonna throw that out there. Okay. Anyway,
I'm gonna take Virginia to get that done. But I'm telling you, Richmond's have been a very good FCS program for the past 25, 30 years.
Yeah. Solid.
Then they head to Memorial Stadium to take on Fighting Illini. Patty C.
This is a big one.
They're going to beat them.
Are we sure about that? Are you sure about that 5 minutes?
They whooped Illinois' ass last year. I watched that the other day in the studio here.
They whooped Illinois' ass for like 1 quarter. The second quarter, they just they scored every single play of the quarter. Maybe it was like halfway through the first quarter. Dude. But there was like a 5-minute stretch where they scored 28 points. I feel like
they were up 14-0 after the first. They were up 21-7 at halftime. They were up 35-7 in the third quarter.
Okay.
Right? They whooped their fucking ass. 42-14.
They did, but it just didn't feel like it should have been that. I mean, UVA's offense, we've seen this from UVA's offense. It can explode, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're completely controlling the game. Now, Illinois couldn't finish. Couldn't score against that defense. So Illinois was bad last year.
I don't know that they got better on offense.
You have to figure they get a little better in year 2.
DeVito?
Touche.
I think DeVito might be a little bit better than Brandon Peters.
Well, I just think that they're going to run the ball. They're going to be better on defense.
No, I do think they'll be better on defense.
Yeah,
I do think they'll be better.
It should be a close game, and the fact that it's in Champaign instead of Charlottesville this year scares me. It scares me.
I haven't been scared of a game in Champaign. This fucking Dick Butkus played there, dude. I got to win in it.
I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him. That could be me being a homer, though.
Then they host Old Dominion, the Monarchs in the Sun Belt. Old Dominion's offensive coordinator just quit like in the past week. He's like, you know what? Fuck you to Ricky Ronnie.
It's a Bush League move.
That's concerning.
Yeah, but that's good for Virginia.
I'm taking them 3-0. You
3-0.
Then they head up to Robert and I in the Syracuse Orange.
Interesting. I'm sure he'll be up in Dino Babers or whoever the defensive coordinator is.
Q's is going to get this dub.
A Friday nighter. It is a little dangerous. Short week. Who does Q's have the week before? Q's is coming off a home match against Purdue. So they don't have to travel the week before. Short week. It does help them. At this point, I'm going to trust that Virginia takes an L. Somewhere in there. So I'll go with you. 3-1.
3-1 through September. Then they're at Wallace Wade Stadium against Mike Elko. I'm taking UVA.
Do you think Duke's going to be better under Elko than they were under Cutcliffe? Or at least recently.
They won the ACC.
Recently under
the Coastal.
Because they've sucked under Cutcliffe lately. But
I mean, I think they could be on par with last year.
Yeah, Virginia should win that.
So 4-1.
Yeah.
They're hosting the Louisville Cardinals in Malik Cunningham. This is a winnable game.
They're rival. They're cross division rival. It's
they're rivals.
Storied rivalry. They won last year by 1 point.
That game was wild.
Believe Louisville missed a field goal toward the end.
Yeah, I'm taking Louisville.
In Charlottesville, I'm not. I'm taking UVA, baby.
So you got them winning the national championship this year. I have them at 4-2.
5-1. 5-1.
They get a bye week and then they're at Georgia Tech. Thursday night. I'll take UVA.
You know, I don't like the Thursday night at Georgia Tech thing. It scares me. There's a little history there. I feel like it's just not good. And anytime you got to go to Bobby Dodd, nightmares for Virginia. Although I think when they lost that game, was that a Bobby Dodd? I know in the 90s they lost 2 big games against Georgia Tech. I think one was at Bobby Dodd, one was in Virginia. Either way, they should get them, right? You had UVA, right?
I got UVA.
Okay.
So that puts us at what?
6-1 for me, 5-2 for you.
Then they're home to the Miami Hurricanes. This is a win.
I'll give them a loss there just because I think they'll probably have 2 losses by now.
I'll say they win.
They could win that.
I'd say they win.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is the greatest schedule that I've ever seen, like constructed.
They're about to play a game in November, and they haven't even played what? Louisville was 6-6. Miami was the best record is 7-5 from a season ago. Miami was 7-5. Louisville was 6-6. Every other team had a losing record.
To this point in the schedule.
Yeah, that's incredible. You're about to play in November. The next game is in November. And by the way, their next game is a 6-6 team and the North Carolina Tar Heels in Charlottesville, the South's oldest rivalry. I'll take North Carolina here.
Dangerous. I'll say this. Between North Carolina and Pitt coming the next week, both games in Charlottesville, Virginia is going to get one. And so I'm going to say 1-1 in that stretch. That puts them at 3 losses for me with 2 games left.
Dude, it's unbelievable they get all of them at home.
I know, 4 straight weeks of home games and big.
I'm taking North Carolina and Pitt. It wouldn't shock me if UVA won all those.
They could. If
this team could go undefeated, they're going to win the national championship. What's their odds?
They're going to get to the national. They're going to get to the playoff and lose by 700 points to Alabama.
So I got them losing to UNC and Pitt. You know what? I'll even say they get one of those.
UNC and Pitt. All right.
So they'll have them go 1-1 there.
So we both have them at 7-3 with 2 games left. Now the last 2 games are tough.
I think they're going to lose to Coastal.
They probably should. Grayson McCall, by far the most efficient quarterback in the country. I kind of want to be at that game. I might be
fantastic.
At that game.
Yeah.
Between Coastal and Virginia Tech, I got them going 1-1, maybe 0-2.
I got them going 0-2.
Maybe 0-2.
I got them at 7-5.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
And I think if I had to lean, I'm leaning under. I think Pitt could get them. I gave them a win against Pitt, Miami. I gave them a win against Georgia Tech on a Thursday. Wouldn't shock me.
Paint a picture for me where this team has covered 7 games into the season.
Dude, they
just win all their games.
They very easily could be like, let's
7-0 easily.
Dude, I don't even what is the biggest dog they would be
in the first 7 games?
The whole schedule.
The whole schedule, you would think. If
I had to guess, ready? Let's just spitball this thing. They're gonna be favored against Richmond.
Yeah.
I think they'll be a small favorite at Illinois.
Probably yes.
I think they'll be favored against Old Dominion.
I think the Illinois spread will be largely dependent on what we see in week 1. But I would say at this point, favored. Small favorite.
No, there'll be a big favorite. Against, I think there'll be a small favorite at the Dome.
Okay.
Against Syracuse. I think they'll be favored at Duke.
10 points, 11 points. Yep.
The Louisville game is kind of a 50-50. I have no idea who they'll favor.
The fact that it's in Charlottesville.
I think it might be UVA by 1.5, 2.
Yeah.
At Georgia Tech, I think UVA should be favored.
Yeah.
The Miami game. Miami will be favored, but by how much you think? 4, 5?
I don't think Miami does great in Charlottesville.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: the Carolina game. I would favor Carolina by 4 or 5, but Carolina's starting running back out for the season. Carolina is second best wide receiver out 8 weeks. He might be back by here, but still, I think this is kind of I would say Carolina by 4.5.
Carolina also traditionally struggles in Charlottesville.
I would actually say Carolina by 3.
Yeah.
Pitt.
That's the one that seems like the biggest.
But even that, they got better Mark Whipple. They played tons of close games historically.
Yeah. Now that they're not going to be as aggressive throwing the ball around, it's going to be a dogfight.
I would say Pitt by 6?
Probably.
Coastal. I think UVA might be favored.
They shouldn't be. I
think it's going to be close though. That line was not going to move much.
Yeah.
Then at Virginia Tech, Hokies will be favored by a little bit.
Probably.
But my point is there not? I don't see a touchdown favorite anywhere on the schedule.
Dude, it's one of the easiest schedules and most well constructed schedules I've ever seen. it's not out of the realm of possibilities that they win 10. And do I think they're a 10-win quality team? No.
But dude, this sounds crazy, right? They could go undefeated.
They won't though.
They won't. But I'm saying, like, if they can get past, like, to me, their hardest road game is Virginia Tech to end the season. But
if you're 11-0 going into that game, Tech is going to bring it.
Look at their other road games. Illinois, that's not a tough game. At Syracuse, a little bit because of the dome, but I mean they're a better football team than Syracuse. At Georgia Tech, and then at Lane. Yeah,
it's going to be a great year.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm on the over.
You got to be on the over.
I'm on the over. Give me Brennan Armstrong. Tony Elliott's going to win the date. Mendenhall should have stayed just based on this.
Mendenhall did what any incoming coach wants. He just left him gift wrapped. A pretty nice package.
Here's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. 3 awesome wideouts and the greatest schedule we've ever seen.
Let's get it done.
What's the worst they could do, Petty C?
They could lose at Illinois. They could drop 1 or 2 of the next 4 games. Say they drop 2, they come out 3-3 there. And then the second half of the schedule after the bye week, they lose 5. They could be. I say 4-8 is probably the worst you're gonna see here.
So honestly,
they would have to suck though. They would have to really suck,
dude. They could go 12-0 or 4-8. Is there a bigger
range?
For a team that we've seen?
I don't
think there is.
Yep. Tony Elliott, you have
what
your
are the
work
odds they go 12-0?
Almost 0. They're just not good enough.
There's not like that. You cannot convince me that one of these is just a flat out loss.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that they won't take a road trip for 5 weeks, in the heart of scheduling, in the heart of conference play, that is a gift.
And the road game prior to that, they have a bye week before, but it's Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Look, someone at UVA, did a favor, maybe sexual variety to someone in the ACC office.
The schedule's incredible. I can't believe I'm taking the over. I wanted to fade this team so much. Like, I really want to fade this team. They don't have anyone on the line of scrimmage back.
Buddy, Wahoo football is on the rise, and Tony Elliott is the guy that's bringing them to the top.
Unbelievable. Folks, we're on the over. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. This is one of the more interesting teams to watch in college football this year with that schedule. Sign me up. Let's go Wahoos.
If Brennan Armstrong gets hurt again, though,
all
bets are off.
And they're imagine he tears his ACL against Richmond.
1-11.
1-11.
Don't you dare,
folks! Subscribe to the College Football Experience wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience as well, and the College Baseball Experience. Wahoos keep a good baseball team. Me and Noah Beanick do the College Baseball Experience.
Keep a bunch of good teams all over the place. Basketball, baseball.
What is it?
Soccer,
lacrosse. Yeah. Folks, check out the YouTube page, youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe, tell a friend, and check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Yes, they're breaking down all 32 NFL teams. They did a solo podcast for every single NFL team out there. Yeah, that means they got you for the Carolina Panthers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Washington Redskins. You go on and on and on. They got you covered. So check out all that. They're all there. What else, Patty? See, we got the MLB Gambling Podcast. It's summertime right now, folks. Check out the MLB Gambling Podcast. Check out the Canadian Football League Podcast, the USFL Gambling Podcast. What else? Soccer's coming. UVA's that love soccer. World Cup around the corner. Check out the Soccer Gambling Podcast for that. Check out the MLS Gambling Podcast. We got you covered. All right, just get the SGPN app in the App Store. It's free to download. The Discord channel is fantastic. If you just love sports like us, just hop in the Discord channel. I'm telling you, doesn't matter the sport. You could be into, Formula One, whatever the sport. We're in there, and it's fun to just sit there. And first off, you're going to get a lot of intel about each matchup. If you're a UVA basketball fan, I don't know what you're doing. You need to hop in the sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord because we're breaking down games all the times in there, football, basketball, whatever, even college baseball. Hop in there, folks. Also, please, if you can get over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Say some nice things about us. We'd certainly appreciate it. It only takes a minute out of your day. And if you do that, take a screenshot. Find us on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Show us that screenshot, and we're going to enter you in a David Stern like raffle where you're guaranteed to win. All right. I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. Give me a follow as well. Patty C is on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC_NICK. We are the college football experience and the college basketball experience. So subscribe, tell a friend. All right, folks, this is the college football experience, UVA Cavalier style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. They're begging us. Please have a party. Feed us drinks. Get us laid.
Coach, our coach did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in the second half. It sucked. It stunk.
I broke my back. What do you mean by that? Your back is broken. What, a vertebrae or spinal?
It's easy to see a tide turn